Hi everybody, welcome to Wednesday Wisdom. So for this week we are going to be doing something a little bit different. So normally when I come on a Wednesday I'm talking about different conditions. Last time we were covering MS, and then before that was ankle sprains, but today I want to share some inspiration. So I am joined by a fellow osteopath, Brit Tate, who I want to share her story, I want to share her vision, and I want to talk about how she's changing osteopathy and the healthcare sector for the better. So to summarise and give you a little bit of a background on her, 5-time national age group triathlete titles. She podiumed multiple times at the World and European Triathlon Championships. And in addition to this, she worked with, am I right in thinking, New Zealand and Aussie World Cup rugby teams, as well as the England Six Nations and NFL teams. So just to name a few things that you've done already, it's just unbelievable. So if you could share kind of your background and how you got into osteopathy, I think so many people would be interested.
Yeah, so actually, when I suppose it's probably good to start from the beginning, maybe.
Yeah.
So when I was younger, I actually wanted to be in the police force. So for quite a long time, actually. And I ended up doing some work experience, sort of when I was about 15, 16, when you're trying to make your careers choices. And I went down to London and worked with the mounted police for a week. Down there, yeah, and that's because that was the dream, was like to work with the mounted police. And I went down, and it's just not what I thought it was going to be at all, and like it was just not what I thought. So I thought, I think I need to rethink what I want to do for a career. And at the time, I was actually getting some treatment from a massage. From a masseuse in the local sort of town, and she was an ex-police woman, and she was doing massage, and I thought, actually that would be good. And I'd had quite a lot of injuries when I was younger, and so I was interested in why the body and why I wasn't getting better. So I decided, I thought I'd do sports therapy, because I thought, I'm interested in sports. It sounds like a little bit more treatment style rather than just general massage sort of work. So I started out at Active Health in Manchester doing sports therapy, and I did that, actually finished in my last level of A level, so I did that in the last year. The idea was I'd have in the gap year, at the end of that, I'd then go and do something like physio or something like that. But I actually really enjoyed the course, and I felt like confident enough to actually go out and practice with that, which was ace. So I did that worked here in an osteopathic practice in my local town for 3 years as a sport therapist.
I didn't know that. That's mad.
So I've been working really with bodies since when did I go there? 2012, 2013, something like that. And that's when I kind of was doing a lot of the work with official sports services that do all the work with the rugby teams and things. So that was really great to make that connection. And then because I was in an osteopathic practice, like the guys were like, you need to be an osteopath. And for like 2 years, I was like, oh no, I don't need to be an osteopath. I don't need to do that. And then like a year in, I was like referring lots of my clients. And I was like, they need joint work, and I don't really know what I'm doing with the joints. And then I was starting to get more more senior citizens with like more multiple sort of health conditions and issues, and I just didn't feel confident in treating them because I didn't have the pathology knowledge, and I decided, okay, I need to make this step up in my knowledge, because the practical training was brilliant, but like the theory knowledge, I had a massive hole in my knowledge, and I knew that, and I knew I needed to go and build that. So made the leap and did osteopathy then at that point.
And why osteopathy? Because obviously I know you were working with osteopaths, but like you said, you saw physios, and we see this a lot. And a very common question that I thought actually I'd propose to you and see what you think is, people always go, well, who should I go and see?
Yeah.
And so what is it with you that made you think, I want to become an osteopath? Because obviously, like you said, referring over, I completely agree. You know, you want to have that extra knowledge. But what was it about osteopathy, or was there something specific that kind of triggered you down that path?
Yeah, that's interesting. I think I went to the open day for Leeds Beckett physiotherapy, which I thought was going to just be like, that's where I want it to be. And actually, like, so it was quite a funny experience actually, because I went in my age group, like GB tracksuit, because I was like, oh, this will look good. Like, this will look really, like, I look really good if I go and look like professional in
Official.
kit and like, and during the presentation, like they were really put out by sort of specializing too early, so going straight into sports, because what they wanted is in the application people to be interested in all the types of physiotherapy that's available, so the cardiovascular, the respiratory, like the neuro, and they didn't want people that were interested in sport because they knew that they would want to specialize and not actually give credit to the rest of it. So I was like putting my hand up to ask a question. She wouldn't answer my questions because I was like in full tracksuit, and she was like, whoa, no, we don't want her.
Who's this girl?
So, yeah. So I realized, like, for me, I would have had to like hide who I am to get through the application process to appear like I wanted to cover all the areas, which I did want the knowledge from all the areas, but I knew I wanted to specialize in musculoskeletal straight away. So for me, osteopathy was a better fit for me because I knew straight away I was going to get all the pathology and all the knowledge covering cardiovascular, respiratory, and all the different things, but I was actually going to be able to specialize in musculoskeletal treatment straight away and be able to go into private healthcare that way. So I think for me, it was a really good fit because I knew I was going to be able to do what I wanted to do without having to hide who I am. And also it really blends, osteopathy really blends with kind of my principles of like holistic healthcare. And because I've been treated by osteopaths a lot, I kind of really, and I've been treated like by a lot of different practitioners as well. And I think all practices are brilliant. Like they all have their place. It was just for me, it fit better. So yeah.
I love that. And I love that idea of like being genuine to yourself as well. I think that's amazing. And then moving on from that, because I know when we've spoken before, just when you talk about, you know, being an athlete and when you talk about bringing the two together, this passion just comes alive and I absolutely love it. So do you find, obviously being that high level elite athlete, how has that tailored your osteopathy now? Do you find that you treat people in certain vectors? Like, how has it changed, obviously, since graduating and practicing?
Yeah. So I think I've always done sport. I've always competed at sport at like sort of a national level, depending on, even from being a kid, like I did football to that level, netball, and then I actually went into modern pentathlon for quite a while. Yeah, I did 2 years of that when I was about 14, which was crazy sport. Like, yeah, I was like 14, like stabbing people with a sword. It was so weird. And like shooting at a target and stuff with a gun. I was 14 and I had a gun. It was very weird. Anyway, but it was brilliant and I loved it. But in the end, it pushed me down sort of the triathlon path.
Yeah.
And I think from that, it built I got a lot of injuries at that point all the way through. And actually it built my passion to try and help develop other people and like help people that can't participate in sport because they're injured or can't do what they want to do. Because when I was injured, it really like affected me mentally and I really struggled with it. And actually I think that helps me empathize with people and gives me a passion to help people not only get out of pain, but actually just like mentally and emotionally feel better in themselves. And that, for me, that's my major drive, is actually like the mental health side of physical well-being, because I know if you can't participate in your activity or sport, or just going to the gym or going to your class or going for a walk with your friends because you're in pain, then that affects your mental health. And I feel like I've had an element of that, and I just want to help people with that, really.
Love
So
that, because I
yeah,
absolutely love that, because I feel like all the time we see that with clients where they come in, and you're probably experiencing this more as well, and you can just tell when they're injured, like how miserable they feel, they can't do what they want to do. And like you said, it doesn't always have to be kind of high level athlete, it can
yeah,
just be, the general public as well. But I absolutely love that. And I think in terms of like another question for you as well, because obviously bringing it through and actually showing people that osteopaths, we do help athletes, we are specialised in the body, we are very, very much tailored to each person and can help each person.
mm,
How do you see your role in the osteopathic field developing kind of over the next 5 to 10 years? Do you see kind
yeah.
of you changing the field? Do you see expanding in certain areas?
I guess maybe I don't see myself like changing the field as such, but what I want to do is sort of help develop the industry for people to be able to understand osteopathy better. So for example, like when I'll say to like a client, or they'll ask what is osteopathy when they've not been before, and they're like, oh, it's about the bones, isn't it? Or you treat bones, or osteo, it means bone, doesn't it? And I get that a lot, and it's completely fair enough, because osteo does mean bone. And what I'd quite like to do is just kind of try and help people, educate them, so that they know that it's more than that. And also, because I'm from a soft tissue background, I feel like it's really that's really important to me. And actually, I really want to help people understand that we treat more than just the skeletal system, but we treat the joints, but we treat the muscles, but then we also treat the nervous system, we treat the organs, like we treat the whole body. And like, I think that's really important for me to maybe to give back to the industry, is just to help educate what we actually do. In terms of the sports side of things, like I'd really like to get more involved in that, like in terms of I'm already involved, but I'd like to kind of push that and see where I can go with that. That's what I'd really like to do.
I love that, because I think a lot of people that are going to be watching this, because this will be going out to everybody, but particularly clients as well, I think there'll be a lot of people that will see this and hear what you're saying and be like, that's me, I
Yeah.
want to push it to that next level, what can I do? And being able to express, osteopathy has a role in that is absolutely fantastic. And then my final question to you that I've just been asking everybody, and it's more kind of interest, something that I'm interested in knowing,
Yeah.
is how has COVID, or how has the pandemic affected you? Has it influenced how you're treating? Have you noticed kind of patterns with certain conditions that are flaring up during this pandemic? So we get asked this a lot, but I'd love to kind of hear how it's affected you as well.
Yeah, that's a really good question, actually. I'll start off with kind of how it's made me feel, because I had 8 or 9 weeks off work, considering I'm only sort of a year out of graduation. So it was quite like we kind of worked for maybe 6-7 months, and then we were into like a global pandemic, and it was like, whoa. And then the job security was all over the place, and we were just kind of starting out, really. And so coming out of lockdown, it made me appreciate osteopathy even more, because like I knew I loved it, but then I was like, I actually really missed it. And it really gives me a sense of purpose in life. Like without it, I was a bit like, oh, this is all a bit pointless. So yeah, like, because I was like, oh great, I'll just pretend I'm an elite sports person, and I'll just train all day, and it'll be great, and I'll get to kind of do what I want to do. And then I realized, I was like, that wasn't enough. It didn't satisfy me enough, and actually made me realize that, like, even if I want to push my own sporting performance, like I still want to work. And even if, with flexible hours, which is great because osteopathy allows me to do that, but it did make me think that osteopathy is not just work, and it's way more than that. It is a passion, and it is something that I really enjoy doing, and it really confirmed that and nailed that for me. The other thing it kind of made me think is, it really, because we were classified as key workers, so we could technically work all the way, well, we did sort of after 3 weeks start working and getting going again. It really made me think, yeah, osteopathy, it's a medical profession. It's, we are medically trained, and actually we have a really important role for people, and we can give some really good advice. And because sometimes I'm like, oh, you know, are we really helping? You know, you get that question, and actually I was like, yeah, we really are helping. And when the doors opened again, I was really concerned. I was like, are people going to feel confident to come in and have treatment? And it's been busier than it's ever been. And I'm so busy now, like I'm busier than I was before lockdown. And actually that's really given me confidence that people really need osteopathy and really value it. And that's been really critical for my self-development and confidence in what we're doing. So I think that's been, you know, really good in that respect. And that's kind of the main benefits I've got out of this whole rubbish situation, really. And in terms of like conditions, lot of neck pain, because people are like poor desk position, so they've gone from really good setup at work and then they've gone to like having to work on like a kitchen table with a laptop, and then they're hunched over it, and they've got kids running around, and they're in a bad chair, and they're just getting like headaches and neck pain, lower back pain. Like that's mainly the main things really at the minute.
See, that's absolutely mad though, because I completely agree with what you're saying. Because I think one of the biggest things to me is like, I feel like a lot of people are a lot more invested in their bodies as well. So
yeah, definitely.
I think completely like neck, lower back, so being in that poor posture, everything's very stressful, very manic. Like we said, kids going absolutely crazy, having to like sit in these crazy positions. And I think that's the biggest take home thing for me as well. Completely agree, is that people are recognizing actually I don't need to put up with pain, and that we are here to help. So I absolutely love it. Thank you so much for joining me today. What I will do, because I know there'll be a lot of athletes and like I said, a lot of high level sport participant people that I see that would love to have your information and read up any blogs and posts, because obviously you're very active on social media, constantly posting updates on your training, you know, what's best to do, preventing injury is absolutely fantastic. Lots of videos as well. So I will tag it all in, tag your clinic in, and obviously if anyone has any questions, where's the best place for them to contact you?
It probably is on my Instagram actually, because that's where most people that have questions do tend to contact me. So that's currently at the Body Mechanic 101. I might be slightly changing that, adapting that at some point, but for now,
see how it goes.
It's staying like that for now. But it's always changing that, which is not good. But yeah, for now, it's going to stick at that for now. So that's probably best. They can just drop me a message on there. I'm pretty good at getting back to people, even if it takes me, you know, a little while to get through. I do get back to people, and actually people are responding really, you know, well to the videos and stuff like that. So it's been nice to see the feedback on that. That's another good thing from lockdown. It gave me a chance to kind of build that, which
share
is
your
good.
knowledge.
No,
exactly. But I love it, because I think just watching you thrive and, you know, do all these amazing things for osteopathy is exactly why I wanted to talk to you today. So thank you so much. I will be sharing this everywhere. No, my pleasure. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you. See you later.